So Luka Doncic finally made his debut with the Lakers alongside LeBron James. And even after just one game, I believe this proves the Lakers have a tremendous upside. Let's talk about it. Before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor and drop a like on the video and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Lakers and other sports content. So I don't know about you, but I was super excited yesterday. All I could think about, even throughout work, was just I couldn't wait for the Lakers game to start, and I couldn't wait to see what Luka on the floor would look like, what Luka and LeBron James playing together would look like, the whole system in general. It was just a very exciting day to be a Laker fan, and you couldn't have asked for a better ending to the game. Obviously, we blew out the Utah Jazz. The final score was 132-113, I believe. And in my opinion, you couldn't really ask for a better start from Luka Doncic. When you consider everything that he went through, and keep in mind, he's 25 years old, so he's still pretty young. And you saw him, whether it's through interviews or even the press conference, that trade really hit home for him. I don't think it's an overstatement to say that it was devastating for Luka. So taking that into consideration, I think he's handled this whole situation really well. And I expected him to take some time. It's not like he was just going to jump up and hop on a plane to LA and be the happiest man alive. No, of course not. He's a human being, just like the rest of us, and he's fairly young. He went from the cornerstone of a franchise to, hey, we not only don't want you anymore, but here, we're going to shit all over you as well. I mean, I don't know if you guys have caught some of the stuff that you see online, but the Mavericks front office, man, they are not letting up. You saw the statement that was put out by their quote-unquote governor, just really kind of ragging on Luka Doncic, man, and it's not a good look. But either way, the point is, I think Luka has handled this really well, and I was super excited to see what he would look like his first game as a Laker. And the game itself was not disappointing. If we're talking about specifically Luka Doncic, he only played 23 minutes, and it was announced before the game that he would be on a minutes restriction. He finished the game with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Didn't have a great shooting night. He wasn't very efficient. But he did make all of his free throws. He was 3 of 3 from the line. And he finished with a plus 15 in terms of plus minus. So overall, not bad in my opinion. The inefficient shooting wasn't a huge surprise for me, especially when it came to his 3-point shot. I think he went like 1 for 6, if I'm not mistaken. Usually when you see that, because with scorers, they try to find their rhythm. So that's what he was trying to do. He was getting up his shot, trying to get that 3-point down, which I don't blame him. I really don't. He hasn't played a game since Christmas. And on top of that, he just came off of a calf injury. So what I was going to say is that the most common situations where you see someone who you're used to seeing make their threes or just score at a high volume, when they're struggling, it's usually because they don't have their legs, whether it's they're coming off of injury or, let's say they're playing, it's a playoff situation, they're playing all 48 minutes, they're exhausted, they just don't have the same lift. We saw the same thing with Gabe Vincent. Right, he came off of his injury. He was out a significant amount of time, and it took him a while to find that rhythm to get his legs back up under him. So I wasn't surprised to see that from Luka at all. But that aside, I thought he played pretty well. He's Luka, right? He's a little slow, a little sluggish, especially on top of that when, like I said, he hasn't played a game since Christmas. But overall, you saw his approach to the game. He wasn't afraid to shoot. And he wasn't afraid to be himself, which was being very crafty, getting his teammates involved, and overall just trying to keep that synergy together, but also trying to make plays. That's who Luka is. And you could argue he's the best at it. I view Luka, a healthy Luka, as kind of like a mini Jokic, right? I mean, tell me I'm wrong. They have a very similar game when it comes to scoring, playmaking, just their touch around the rim. It's insane. Now you pair that with LeBron James. And I want to talk about LeBron James for a second. LeBron has been just incredible. You hear JJ Redick talk about how him and LeBron had a talk after that disastrous Miami game, right? I mean, that was probably one of the worst games of the season, if not the worst game. And ever since then, he's been incredible. And there was another point in time as well where I saw he kind of took that step forward and just started to be more aggressive and took the lead as for the team. And that's when AD went down. And ever since then, he's just been on another level. I mean, AD, when he was still with the Lakers, he went down against Philly. And that was on the 28th. We lost that game, but even then, LeBron had 31, 9, and 8. And we haven't lost a game since. We're on a 6-game winning streak. LeBron played 5 of those 6 games. Like I said, he had 31, 9, and 8 against Philly. Then he dropped 24, 11, and 3, 33, 12, and 11, 26, 9, and 8, 42, 17, and 8. And then obviously our most recent game against the Jazz, 24, 8, and 7. And this man is doing this at 40 years old. It's insane. But even then, numbers aside, if you really take a look and you really watch the games and how he's playing, it's almost as if he's locked in. He understands the situation. Not only are we without Anthony Davis, but then we just got Luka Doncic, who is a easily top 5, in my opinion, top 3 player in the NBA. So he knows the assignment. He understands the assignment for sure. And I think he's really taking it upon himself to lead by example. Because at the end of the day, this is a situation. LeBron's not going to be here much longer. Maybe another year, 2 tops. Luka is going to be the face of this franchise going forward. But he also hears the noise. He hears the criticisms surrounding Luka. And obviously with the front office, they keep, for the Mavericks, they keep, just dumping dirt on him. But he understands his role in the situation. Not only is it to be a contributing piece to a winning team, but also more so as a mentor to Luka Doncic. His conditioning, how he takes care of his body, more pride on defense. LeBron is exhibiting that. This is what he's doing. And Luka has to be able to take full advantage of it. Because of the rest of the team certainly is. Look at how we're playing. Gabe Vincent, I can't say enough about him. Jared Vanderbilt is back healthy. You see what he does to this team in terms of bringing the energy and that defensive presence, the tenacity, and it is incredibly infectious. The same with DFS. Once DFS just starts consistently knocking down those threes, that's going to be insane. You have the addition of Jordan Goodwin, who's been a great pickup so far. It's only been 2 games, but you cannot deny his impact. He's kind of like a Bruce Brown-ish type player. Everybody that was campaigning for Bruce Brown, what does he give you that Jordan Goodwin doesn't? Because he wasn't that great of a 3-point shooter. He can hit some threes, but even then, and he's just coming off of injury. Jordan Goodwin is fully healthy, coming off the G League, and he's taking full advantage of this opportunity, man. I love the way he's been playing lately. And of course, I can't not talk about Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves, straight up, he's playing at an all-star level. Let's just call it what it is. I put out a tweet last night, and I was saying, like, hold up. LeBron, Luka, and AR, a big 3? I was like, nah, chill, right? But on a serious note, he's playing to that level. He just came off a 45-point game. Almost had a 45-point triple-double. He had 7 rebounds, 7 assists. And then tonight, with Luka's debut, again, Luka played 23 minutes. He still had LeBron James. He still walked away. Austin Reeves still walked away with 22 points. And he was kind of leading the offense towards the later in the game when Luka and LeBron were sitting out. AR was kind of orchestrating everything. He was the guy. He is our legit third option, and I am not mad about it at all. Very proud of AR and the step that he's made this year in terms of elevating his game to another level. And last but not least, I want to give some credit to JJ Redick, because I still don't think enough people are talking about this. We all remember the jokes. We all remember the criticisms. Oh, he only coached his 5th graders. What does he know about coaching? This is going to be a disaster. XYZ, this, and that. And I've said this numerous times, especially if you watch my content, you'll hear me say it. JJ Redick was always the least of my worries, because I knew that the intangibles he had as a player would seamlessly carry over as a coach. He was a fierce competitor. He was a hard worker, and he always did his best to be prepared. You saw that when he was a personality on talk show. He was always prepared regardless of the subject. And he says it all the time. He's a basketball sicko, and you see that on the court. He has this team clicking. Look at the offensive sets that we're running. The small ball defense. These are schemes and strategies that JJ Redick has implemented to this team, and the team has his full buy-in. It's insane. I love how in Luka's first game, you saw it wasn't just, hey, give the ball to Luka, get out the way. Luka wasn't bringing the ball up the whole time. You saw a lot of pick and roll work, a lot of drag screens, Luka catching at the high post. It was, you saw different looks, and the ball was just moving beautifully. This is the type of offense that JJ Redick has implemented. And again, everyone is bought in. I'm loving this, man. JJ Redick is campaigning. He's building a campaign for Coach of the Year. And at this trajectory, listen, let me throw some numbers at you guys real quick. Over the last 10 games, the Lakers are 9-1. We're 5th in offensive rating, 1st in defensive rating, 2nd in net rating, 1st in effective field goal percentage, and 1st in true shooting. You're trying to tell me JJ Redick has nothing to do with that? Come on now. We're in a really good place right now. That game was super exciting. I'm glad that Luka is finding his fit, and hopefully he can just continue to keep getting better. The chemistry continues to grow. We keep up our defensive intensity. And in terms of, I think we all know that we still need a big to some degree. I think we do. I'll talk about that in another video, but I think we're going to be all right, man. And this whole situation with Luka, LeBron, and the rest of the team just coming together, it's a very exciting time to be a Laker fan. And I can't wait to see how this continues to play out. So that about do it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and drop a like. Let me know what you think in the comments. And of course, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you on the next video.